Hello, friends. Today we're bringing you an intense and thrilling movie. It's about a man named Levon, who once walked away from a dangerous world of crime and violence, only to be dragged back into it when his boss's daughter is kidnapped by the Russian mafia. Let's dive into the story. Levon was once a highly skilled operative, a man who lived his life in the shadows of covert missions. But after years of walking on the edge, he grew tired of that bloody path. Wanting peace, he left it all behind, changed his identity, and started a new life as a construction site foreman. On his very first day, he built a strong bond with his boss, Joe, and Joe's family, unaware that this new beginning would soon collide with his violent past. Joe's daughter, Jenny, had just completed her master's degree and wanted to celebrate with some of her university friends. Joe, however, wasn't very keen on the idea, but eventually, he agreed to pay for the party. Around that time, Levon noticed a car pulling into the construction site. Instinctively, he sensed something was wrong. He quickly picked up a bucket filled with metal scraps and prepared himself. When the intruders approached, Levon hurled the metal pieces at them, showing them what a real tough man looked like. As more of their backup arrived, Levon had no choice but to pull out his hidden handgun. That's when the men realized they had picked the wrong person to mess with. Later, Levon went to meet his daughter. He called her over to his car, but just then her grandfather, Levon's father-in-law, arrived. With clear disdain, he criticized Levon, pointing out that when his daughter, Levon's wife, was alive, Levon never came home lovingly. It was obvious that the old man harbored deep resentment toward him. Levon, however, silently accepted all of his harsh words. Afterward, father and daughter went to a small diner to eat. Levon gave his daughter a gift. When she unwrapped it, she found a photograph of her mother. Her grandfather had hidden all pictures of her to the point where the girl had nearly forgotten her mother's face. Fortunately, Levon gave her this photo to keep her memory alive. Later, Levon met with his lawyers and explained everything that had happened. His wife's family's lawyers had now cut his visitation rights with his daughter from 2 hours every week to just 1 hour every 2 weeks. Levon felt this was unfair, especially after serving his country for more than 20 years. He had fought hard, and yet here he was, struggling to keep his daughter. He handed over a sum of money he had worked hard to save, asking the lawyers to help him fight for his rights. The lawyer, curious, asked why his father-in-law bore such dangerous hatred toward him. Levon revealed the truth. His wife had long suffered from depression. The day Levon was away on a mission overseas, she had taken her own life. Since then, his father-in-law had considered him an enemy. After hearing this, the lawyer advised Levon to stay strong because the old man had hired a very powerful legal team. If Levon lost the case once, he might be forced to pay compensation until he had nothing left. Meanwhile, trouble was brewing for Jenny. Some criminals secretly took pictures of her while she was dancing. They had set their sights on her because of her beauty. Later that night, when Jenny went to the bathroom, intoxicated and sick, the criminals seized the opportunity to drug and kidnap her. When Levon arrived at the construction site the next day to earn his daily wages, he saw multiple policemen questioning Joe and his wife, who looked visibly distressed. Levon soon learned that Jenny had been missing since Friday and had still not returned by Monday. The police were treating the case as nothing more than a formality. Joe and his wife were now extremely worried. Joe, knowing Levon's background and skills, asked him for help in finding Jenny. At first, Levon refused, as he had promised himself to leave that dangerous life behind. Joe then offered him $5 million as payment. Still, Levon did not agree, but deep down, Levon felt deeply troubled inside. After work, he went to visit his old friend Ghani. Many years ago, both Ghani and Levon were known as cold-blooded men. But after hearing about Jenny's situation, Ghani was also heartbroken. He advised Levon that if he truly wanted to take action, then he must not regret it later. He should do this bravely and with full determination. The next day, Levon went to Joe's house. After his wife's death, Levon had left the British Royal Marines out of grief. But now, he couldn't bear the thought of Jenny being killed. So he told Joe firmly that he would definitely rescue her. Levon then visited the bar where Jenny had last disappeared. During his investigation, he quickly realized this was not an ordinary bar. The owner was secretly running huge drug transactions behind the scenes. After identifying his target, Levon went to the alley behind the bar. There, he noticed the surveillance cameras had been deliberately damaged. On the ground, he found Jenny's earring. Not long after, the bartender, whose name was Johnny, closed the bar and drove home. Without Johnny noticing, Levon planted a tracker on his car. Using that device, Levon easily followed him to his house. Breaking the lock and armed with a gun, Levon entered and confronted Johnny. He demanded to know who had kidnapped Jenny. Johnny tried to lie, pretending Jenny had been drunk and left the bar on her own. Angered, Levon pushed him into the swimming pool, holding him down until he struggled to breathe. Still, Johnny refused to confess. Before Levon could question him further, two of Johnny's partners suddenly arrived at the door. In their attempt to kill Levon, they accidentally shot Johnny dead instead. Levon then killed both of Johnny's men. Checking one of the bodies, Levon noticed tattoos that revealed they were Russians. Realizing this could turn into a bigger mess, he grabbed a large amount of cash from the house and left. The next day, a luxury car pulled up to the same house. 3 Russian men stepped out and inspected the crime scene. From the wounds on the bodies, they knew the killings had been done with a gun, yet no weapon was found inside. This told them an outsider was responsible. Levon, watching all of this from his car outside, immediately followed their vehicle. The man named Demi stopped at a house, while Levon hid nearby in the woods and monitored their movements with a camera. Inside, Demi was seen slapping a woman. Furious, the woman drove away, giving Levon the perfect chance to sneak in. Levon splashed a pot of hot coffee directly on Demi's face, slapped him hard, and told him this was revenge for hitting that woman earlier. Shocked, Demi couldn't understand why a stranger would care about his wife. Levon slapped him again, threw the stolen money on his face and said, "This is your money? I took it." Then he showed Jenny's picture and demanded to know where she was. Demi mocked him, saying, "You mean to tell me you're doing all this for a girl?" Levon answered firmly, "Yes, I'm doing this only for her." But Demi refused to reveal anything, so Levon shoved him into the water, where Demi drowned to death. The next morning, a Russian man named Kohli Singh arrived at the house and discovered his associate had been killed. From the scene, he realized the attacker didn't care about money, so what was his real motive? Enraged, he ordered his men to find this intruder immediately. Meanwhile, Jenny was being held captive inside a prison cell. A woman came to bring her food. Jenny tried to reason with her, saying they had made a mistake by kidnapping the wrong person. But the woman grew angry at these words and pressed a knife against Jenny's neck. Levon called his old friend, who was working in the police, and asked for help. He requested complete information about a man named Kohli Singh. His friend revealed that Kohli Singh was actually a Russian mafia member, secretly involved in illegal trades like smuggling. After learning this, Levon went to a bar and started drinking. Through the CCTV cameras, a woman noticed that Levon was carrying both guns and cash. She grew suspicious, thinking Levon might be a cop. So she ordered her man Viper to step outside and check on him. Viper walked straight to Levon. Levon calmly said he was here only for business. Viper then took him to meet the bar owner. The owner asked him, "Why have you come here? Why are you carrying a gun?" Levon replied casually, "I just came here like this." The bar owner demanded that Levon place his gun on the table, but Levon refused. Immediately, the thugs inside the bar surrounded him. Still, Levon didn't panic. He attacked them head-on, beating them badly. He was about to kill one of the men when the bar owner stopped him. The black gangster then asked, "What do you really want? Why have you come here?" Levon replied, "I've come here to buy the blue crystal drugs you sell. I have endless clients who will buy it, and I'll keep purchasing from you regularly." Hearing this, the gangster agreed to the deal and handed Levon the blue crystal, which was a highly addictive narcotic. Levon then left the place with the packet, but on his way, he threw it into a dirty drain because his real motive was something else. Meanwhile, Viper and Lena were transporting Jenny inside a suitcase to a man named Simon. As soon as Simon opened the suitcase, Jenny attacked him fiercely. Shocked, Simon told Viper and Lena, "This girl is truly dangerous." Later, Levon received a call from the black gangster who said the drugs had been sold completely. Levon pretended to agree and replied that he wanted to make an even bigger deal. The gangster told him he could introduce him to his boss. This was exactly what Levon wanted, because it would give him direct access to the main mafia members. Soon, a man with long hair arrived to meet Levon, introducing himself as Demi's brother, the same Demi Levon had killed earlier. Levon's ID was checked, and he convinced the long-haired man that he wanted to strike a massive drug deal. Believing him, the man handed over a packet of blue crystal. Levon then went to the bathroom and dumped the entire packet there. Later, Levon carefully examined Jenny's selfies from the party. In each picture, he noticed a man whose eyes were always fixed on Jenny. From this, Levon realized that this very man was behind Jenny's kidnapping. He tracked the man's location and reached the spot, but the gangsters there recognized Levon as the same person who had come earlier. They began chasing him, forcing Levon to escape on a motorbike. The thugs opened fire on him and also figured out that Levon was the one who killed Demi. Just then, the police arrived, and Levon thought he had been saved. But soon, he realized these policemen were also working with the gangsters. They drugged Levon unconscious and dragged him away. On the way, Levon regained consciousness. He thought, "If they take me straight to the gang's den, my life will be in danger." So inside the moving vehicle, Levon attacked the policeman. During the struggle, one bullet hit the driver, causing the car to lose control. Levon seized a gun, killed them, and pushed the vehicle into a canal. Meanwhile, Kohli Singh was informed that 2 of his men had been killed and that this same mysterious man was behind it. Furious, he ordered his gang to find Levon at any cost. On the other side, Viper and Lena went to meet the long-haired man. It was revealed that these 2 were the ones supplying kidnapped girls to him. The long-haired man demanded a fresh supply of girls. At that moment, Kohli Singh entered the bar with his men. He met the long-haired man, and it was revealed they belonged to the same family. Kohli Singh showed him a photo saying, "This is the man who killed your father." It was Levon's picture. Seeing it, the long-haired man froze with fear. He remembered Levon had already come to the bar earlier and even struck a drug deal. Kohli Singh warned him, "Stay away from this man. He came here to kill you because he's the one who murdered your father." The long-haired man grew terrified. Meanwhile, Russian goons reached Levon's father and captured him. At the same time, Levon was driving his daughter home from school. She said, "Dad, I called Grandpa so many times today, but he never answered." Instantly, Levon realized his father was in danger. Tracking his father's location, he rushed there and saw the house on fire. Telling his daughter to stay in the car, he went inside and rescued his father. His father told him, "Those gangsters were here looking for you. They threatened me but left me alive." Levon now understood that his family was no longer safe. So he took his daughter to his old friend who lived deep in the woods and asked him to keep her safe. His friend asked if he had found the missing girl yet. Levon replied, "I'll find her very soon, but you must protect my daughter." His friend handed him weapons, and Levon promised his daughter he would return before leaving again. Meanwhile, Viper and Lena were driving Jenny to another location, but along the way, Jenny suddenly attacked them inside the car and managed to escape by running out of the vehicle. Viper and Lena immediately chased after her, but they couldn't find her anywhere. Jenny eventually reached a road where she saw a police car approaching. Thinking she was safe, she ran toward them, but these policemen were the same ones who worked with the gangsters. They captured Jenny and handed her back to Viper and Lena. Viper then called Simon and informed him. Simon said, "I just got a call from that long-haired gangster. He wants to buy Jenny. Keep this girl alive. She'll fetch a very good price." The scene then shifted to the long-haired gangster who was busy taking drugs. At that moment, Levon also arrived there. Without wasting a second, he began shooting and killing the gangsters around. He pointed a gun at the long-haired man, showed him Jenny's picture, and demanded, "Where is this girl?" The man gave him an address revealing that Jenny was with Viper. Levon then forced him into the car and drove to the given address. On the way, Levon asked him, "Who is actually behind abducting these girls?" The long-haired man replied, "Some people kidnap girls from outside and sell them to us. We then sell them further to others." He then questioned Levon, "Why are you killing so many people just to save one girl?" Levon asked him, "Do you have a daughter?" The man said, "No, I don't." Levon replied coldly, "Then you'll never understand." Right after that, Levon killed him. Levon then secretly reached the location where Jenny was being kept. Meanwhile, the black gangster had also discovered that Levon had tricked them. He told his men, "He has been killing our people. He never came here for a drug deal. He had another purpose all along." Furious, he gathered his gang and set out to kill Levon. Levon kept fighting through the thugs, killing them one by one as he moved deeper inside. Jenny was indeed there, tied up by Lena and Viper. Simon taunted Jenny, saying, "You're dangerous, you even attacked me before. But now, let's see if you can do it again." Just then, Levon caused a massive explosion at the hideout. The blast was so loud that Viper, Lena, and Simon all heard it. Levon stormed inside, guns blazing, killing the thugs ruthlessly. At the same time, the black gangster arrived on a motorbike with his men. Levon fought them all single-handedly. Soon, it came down to a one-on-one fight between Levon and the black gangster. The black gangster shouted, "Who do you think you are?" Levon then pulled out a knife and killed him. After that, Levon went straight to Simon and shot him dead. Then he attacked Viper and Lena. He brutally dragged Viper across the ground, while Jenny managed to overpower Lena by crushing her between her legs. After killing them, Levon freed Jenny from captivity. At that moment, Kohli Singh himself arrived at the scene with his men. They opened fire on Levon, and Levon fired back. Though he couldn't kill them all directly, he cleverly used a camera to eliminate one thug and threw a bomb at another, killing them. Levon then escaped the hideout with Jenny on a motorbike. However, Kohli Singh survived. Furious, he made a phone call and said, "Both the man and the girl escaped alive." The person on the other side replied, "Levon has completed his mission. Do not pursue him any further." But Kohli Singh growled in anger, "He killed my men. I won't just sit quietly." Meanwhile, Levon brought Jenny safely back to her family. Her parents were overjoyed and thanked Levon sincerely for saving their daughter. After this, Levon returned to his friend's house in the woods where his daughter was waiting. The little girl was overjoyed to see him again. Levon, his daughter, and his friend sat together, enjoying a meal. And that's how this thrilling story comes to an end. But imagine for a second, what if you were in Jenny's place, trapped and surrounded by such ruthless criminals? Would you have the courage to fight back like she did? Or would you wait, hoping someone like Levon came to save you? If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more stories like this, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more exciting explanations. And let's set a goal. If this video crosses 300 likes, I'll bring you the next gripping story very soon.